Rebellion.
I only know she was the one thing I ever wanted. Someone took her away from me, and 7 kingdoms couldn't fill the hole she left behind.
In my dreams, I kill him every night.
The next time we see each other, we'll talk about your mother. I promise.
Ned. Promise me.
What did the Mad King say when you stabbed him in the back?
He said the same thing you've been saying for hours.
Burn them all!
Where's my sister?
And now it begins.
No. Now it ends.
What's going on YouTube? 0088 here, and I'm back with Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires Game of Thrones. But it's not just any old Game of Thrones, it's gonna be Robert's Rebellion. Yeah, I've made Robert's Rebellion. Let's get into it. Let me show you how it looks. Here we go. Robert's Rebellion. Prince Rhaegar kidnapped Robert's love and Ned Stark's sister Lyanna. Ned's father and brother were killed. They want revenge. Yeah, I know it's very basic, but you have a limit there, so what can I do? But yeah, here we go. So if you guys have watched my Game of Thrones playthrough of this, then you know how this all kind of works. And if you haven't watched it, well, I suggest you watch it here. Look. So yeah, go check it out, and I'll explain how this game, you can make it into your own little Westeros, into your own little world. So now, but I'm just going to show you where everyone is placed, if you already know how this game works and the layout and everything, and where everything is and how it all makes sense. So when I play it, you kind of understand what's going on a little bit. But yeah, let me go see if I can show you here. Edit Kingdom. Right. So all the yellow, if you can guess, is the Baratheon kingdom, since the war was Robert's Rebellion, the War of the Usurper. You know, Robert Baratheon. So he's the ruler of the Baratheon kingdom, and his colors are yellow and his words are ours is the fury. So yeah, so I made it yellow. And then the big dark red stuff, you guessed it, is the Targaryen loyalists. Yellow is the rebels and the red is the Targaryen loyalists here. And this other brighter red, can you guess who that is? That's the Lannisters, because the Lannisters stayed out of it until the very last minute. So my job in this playthrough, or if you download my playthrough, which is up for download right now if you've got PS4, my playthrough, if you pick Robert or the rebels, then yours is to obviously, like, the whole aim of the game is to make the whole place like one. Is to unify the kingdom, isn't it? And that's what Robert did in Robert's Rebellion. So I mean, he in the actual storyline, he married Cersei, which she's right there. And I don't know, this game is really weird. Like, I think you can marry outside your kingdom, but then the person outside your kingdom has to join your kingdom, and the other kingdom is like still an enemy. It's really weird. And even if you pick Robert, which is the right thing to do, like Robert's obviously the ruler. Where is he? Robert's the ruler of his kingdom. So rulers can't get married outside their kingdom, which is really weird. I don't know. I think only like common officers can do that if you're a common officer, which is so lame. So the best thing for me to do is I'm gonna have to fight the Lannisters at some point, take them out, and make them join my fold, and then marry Cersei like that to make it more accurate to the source material. That's fun to try and. My goal is to fight this game to the point where I make it as accurate as to actually what happened in Robert's Rebellion. But anyway, let me show you where everyone is. Right, here's King Areys, here's King's Landing, King Areys, this section here. You got Rosart, who's like his like Hand of the King replacement when Jon Connington goes out on wars. Jon Connington, I think, was Hand of the King. I'm not sure. You guys can correct me on that. You've got Stokeworth, who's one of the lead gold cloaks or whatever, and you got Elia Martell, Oberyn Martell's sister. You killed her, you raped her, you murdered her, you killed her children, all that shit, yeah. And you got Garrigus, Bellis, J. Riker. These are just guards, I think. Sir Alliser was loyal to the Targaryens, and then he obviously got captured when Robert won. and he got sent to the Wall. And that's where you see him at the start of Game of Thrones. He's at the Wall. So you got Garrigus and Bellis. They're basically the pyromancers that wanted to set wildfire all over King's Landing before Jaime stabbed the Mad King in the back. And that's probably the last place I'm going to attack once I've finished the game. I'll probably do it to the Lannisters, and I'll use Jaime Lannister. Oh, I'm excited already. And here at the bottom here is where Jon Connington is chilling, and I guess this will be the Battle of the Bells, maybe. So that's where I would have head first. I thought that's like the Battle of the Bells. But the game is not that simple. You got to come here first. You got to take out all these areas that aren't occupied by prefects and soldiers, because they'll be weaker, and then you can build up your strength like that. Because it's so hard. If like, I put Robert here because you're meant to start here, go here to do the Battle of the Bells, and then move on to like take out Randall, go fight Randall Tarly. In the actual storyline, Robert loses to Randall Tarly, and he's like, wow, fuck Randall Tarly, I'm gonna skip him. So Robert doesn't bother with him, and then he goes to, and then that's another place I have to go last. That's obviously the Tower of Joy, but we'll come back to that. And then there's Rhaegar, this is the Trident. So I guess I'd have to cut through Jon Connington, probably go through Jon Connington, maybe Randall Tarly if I can, and then Rhaegar. Now I have to fight Rhaegar, and that'll be at the Trident, and that's where obviously Robert Baratheon smashes Rhaegar on the Trident, smashes his chest, all the rubies fall out and all that, you know it. So that'll be a fun fight if I can get there. And you have the Tower of Joy. Now I'll probably control Ned Stark and go there, and I'd have to fight Lyanna, which is a bit weird. So you've got Arthur Dayne. Now look, Arthur Dayne's the prefect, the leader of this area, which I know you guys are probably thinking, no, Gerald Hightower, the Bull, was the commanding officer there. But Arthur Dayne is such a boss, I had to make him the leader. I'm sorry, I had to make him the leader. Like, Arthur Dayne is leading the Tower of Joy shit, because he was the boss there. Even though Gerald Hightower was officially the boss, Arthur Dayne was the real boss, you know what I'm saying? Tower of Joy is the last thing, but I'll have to do this one last, because that's how the game works. You have to take out the ruler last, then you complete everything. And then before I take out the ruler, I'm going to take out the Lannisters and bring Tywin on my side, marry Robert Baratheon to Cersei, and that's how it's going to work. And I'm going to try and replicate Robert's Rebellion as much as I can. Now, I'm going to warn you guys, it's not going to be perfect, because obviously this game is going to be, you know, like spontaneous as hell. So what could happen is like I don't know, the King Areys might decide to move Rhaegar here, or move him down here, or move him down here, or Lyanna Stark could end up getting moved up here. And, you know, things can happen, so it might not play out exactly how it should, how it looks, where you go. And also when you attack like empty lands like this area here and that area there, where it's not occupied by any soldiers, what the king does is he sends like his big men there, like all the prefects like Rhaegar, Arthur Dayne, Sir Alistair, sometimes I see around there. Like whoever's around those areas, he'll send soldiers there to go protect them when you attack them. Obviously, you have to fight someone. So yeah, and that's a lot of, you've seen a lot of the Targaryen and the Lannister side now. They own these areas. I put Tywin there in case he wants to. You know how he just basically came and fucked Areys up the arse and just snuck in King's Landing and absolutely devastated. That's why I put Tywin there, but it's not going to happen. That place usually gets taken over. Obviously, I've had a couple practice runs. That place usually gets taken over pretty quick. So yeah, so now you can see who's on the rebels side, and you've got Robert Baratheon, of course, who I'm obviously going to control if you haven't guessed by now. You've got his boy, you know, his brother-in-arms, Ned Stark. You've got Jon Arryn, you know, the Hand of the King, who becomes the Hand of the King, who kind of started this whole thing. It's like, look, Ned, Robert, don't let Aerys take your girl and your family like this. Fuck that. You lot team up. We're going to fucking King Aerys up. You got Stannis, you got Great John Umber, you got Jewel Mormont, you got Donell Noy, who ended up on a Night's Watch and lost his arm. You got Gawain Wild, Denys Erin, Sir Davos when they're all young. They're all younger. I've edited them to look a bit younger as well. And you've got the other rebels like Rickard Karstark, Waymond Manderly, Howland Reed, who was like Ned's boy when they went to the Tower of Joy. You got all the Tower of Joy lot here, like Ethan Glover, Martin Castle, Roose Bolton wasn't at the Tower of Joy. You got Mark Ricewell, Theo Will Dustin. The rest of them are the ones that just help out, you know, in a Trident and all that, and other battles. And they all look younger than from my main Game of Thrones playthrough. I've like edited them to look a bit younger. Got Hoster Tully, got the like obviously Ned. Let's just say Ned's married Catelyn now, and they've joined forces with the Tullys. So they got Hoster Tully, Catelyn Lysa, Walder Frey, Blackfish Tully, Jason Mallister. You got all them lot. You got the Greyjoys who came in late. They were fighting at the sea, like taking out some Targaryen loyalists there. And then they can come into a few battles. I need as much names as I can get, you know. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I mean, don't forget you got the 3 officers. So look, there's Oberyn Martell there, Prince Doran. These are people that were chilling. Like they weren't really active during the war. They were just sidelined and checking it out. And they didn't really join in. Like Oberyn was doing his own thing at the time, you know. You got Littlefinger there. So what can happen is, like, especially people like the Lannister Kingdom. The Lannister Kingdom is very limited, as you can see here. They got barely any kingdoms and barely any officers. So what usually happens is they might get some of the 3 officers to join their cause. So you might randomly see, like, I don't even know, like some of the Thens or the Wildlings randomly fighting with the Lannisters. Just ignore all that. That's not a big deal. Like, sometimes they might hire Bronn a bit early. Like, what's this, like 17 years ago, 15 years ago, before Game of Thrones kicks off, and like Bronn's probably like 12 years old, 15 years old or something. I don't know, but he's probably too young to be fighting for the Lannisters then. But things might happen a bit earlier than they should. But yeah. So you guys get the picture now. Let's go get started. Okay, here we go, guys. We're going to load up this custom scenario. It's going to be a new series I start. Game of Thrones, Dynasty Warriors, Empires 8, Robert's Rebellion. Here we go. You got Lannister, Baratheon, Targaryen. Let's get started. I'm going to do this on hard as I do. It's really... I've done a couple practice runs to see how it all works. And it's really, really flipping hard. So, I'm going to see if I can find a way to, you know, play this smartly and not ruin everything straight away. Let's go. Right, so like I've shown you before, you can see where all the officers belong to here. You got Benjen Stark, he's young and everything. So he was told there must always be a Stark in Winterfell. So he's up in Winterfell just chilling, like while Ned goes out and fights this war with his brother-in-arms, Robert Baratheon. Right, here's the Lannisters. You got Tywin looking younger, got a bit of hair on his head, you know, ruling the Lannister Kingdom. You got Cersei, very, very young version of Cersei here. Here you got Robert Crackle, just some men that were fighting for the Lannisters. And you got Amory Lorch, one of the people that raped and murdered Ilya Martell and her children. And you got the Mountain, who was obviously the other one that raped and murdered on her children in the Lannister Kingdom there. And then you got the Baratheon Kingdom, Lysa is part of it. Like Baratheon is like, it's the Baratheon rebels, you could say. It's probably better to call it, but in the game it's called Kingdom. You got Aeron Greyjoy, the Greyjoys. You got Robert himself. I gave him the Hellbird. That's, if you know this game, that's Lubu's weapon. Lubu's one of the most baddest cats on this game. But you know what? I know Robert uses the Warhammer in the actual story, and there's no Warhammer on this game, surprisingly. There's no hammer on this game, surprisingly. The Hellbird kind of looks like a hammer, so I just thought, you know what? Let me give him the Hellbird. It's a kind of a huge hammer, even though it's an axe or something, like some kind of weird axe. But it kind of shaped like a hammer, and the way he swings his weapon, he kind of swings it like it's a hammer. And plus, Lubu's a bad character, like a badass character. I had to give him that. But there's Robert. He's badass in this game, so I made him as good as I could because he's one of the strongest guys in Robert's Rebellion. That's one of the reasons why he won. He like won 3 battles in one day, leading, commanding, and kicking ass. Like, he was hard nut. He was a hard nut in his rebellion. And obviously, a young Ned Stark here. Younger, he's going to be second in command. I'm going to have to become you know, sworn brothers with them pretty quick so they don't just die or get captured pretty easily. People might get captured that didn't get captured in the actual story. That's very easy to happen. There's Jon Arryn, Catelyn, and she's still a Tully here. They got married, I guess. I should have called her a Stark, but I wanted her to be a Tully, I don't know. And there's Rickard Karstark, Great John Umber. They're all slightly younger versions of them. Howland Reed, the guy that pretty much saved Ned Stark's life at the Tower of the Joy. Got to have him in there. And the rest of them, look, there's a young Roose Bolton who looks more like his book counterpart rather than a TV show one. And young Stannis, young 20-year-old Stannis, still looking mean. He probably came out of his mother's womb with that face. That's Stannis. And you got Sir Davos, young Davos, who helped Stannis out when he was stuck at, was it Dragonstone or Storm's End he was stuck in? I can't remember now where he was stuck and he couldn't get no food. And then you got Geo Mormont before he joined the Night's Watch and he helped out. And you got Blackfish Tully, who obviously helped out. Looks the same in a way. I should have made him maybe look a bit more younger, I don't know. And then Greyjoys and so on and so on. I don't want to waste too much time doing all this. Oh yeah, I should show you the Targaryens as well. You got Rhaegar, Prince Rhaegar Targaryen, with his black and red armor and the dragons on the shoulders. Pretty badass there. Hopefully I'll get to fight him at the Trident with Robert. That'll be fun to reenact. And you got Jon Connington, one of the most loyal Targaryen dudes there is. If you look up Robert's Rebellion, you see how much of a badass Jon Connington is. He's actually part of the main storyline now in the books with Aegon, one of the possible Targaryens in the books. There's a mystery going on there. I don't want to go too much into that. And Jonathan Derry, and these are just some people for the Kingsguard. Areys, the Mad King Targaryen's Kingsguard here. Got Willem Derry, Miles Mooton, he's just some guys. You got Arthur Dane, another one of the Kingsguard. You know, you guys should know Arthur Dane. You got Gerald Hightower, Oswell Went, you know, with his bat helm. And you got Jaime Lannister, who has to be extra with his gold armor. His young 16-year-old Jaime Lannister. Well, in the show, he probably was about 18 or 19, I don't know, but he was young. And young Mace Tyrell, Randall Tarly, a boss. You know, he's actually quite hard to fight in my practice playthroughs of this. I remember he was actually kicking my ass. And you got Barristan Selmy, one of the Kingsguard, a young Barristan Selmy, slightly younger than he is. And you got Ilya Martell, and you got Lewin Martell, another Kingsguard member. And you got Lyanna Stark, the beautiful Lyanna Stark. What this whole war is about. It's always about a pussy. It's always about a girl. And you got the Mad King himself, King Areys, right there. All right. I don't want to waste too much time. Let's start to get right into it. And I'm going to obviously pick Robert Baratheon. Has to be done. And I'll see you for the first proper part of Dynasty Warriors Empires 8 Robert's Rebellion. See you then. Peace.